subject I wish they taught in high school was A. Date Rape 101, B. Gangster Ebonics for crackers, or C. The pull-out method. I'm gonna go with C. Connor.
Yeah, so I have a contingency here. I will take B if it's taught by a white guy.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, if it's not taught by a white guy, I'll take C.
Buy crackers for crackers.
Right.
I like masturbating. A. All the time. B. Publicly. Or C. With power tools.
With power tools.
With power tools. Yes. You ever notice how often people don't use an ashtray, but they use anything else for an ashtray except for an ashtray?
Rob, what are you using for an ashtray?
A McDonald's lid.
It is. Anyway, overrated or underrated? Store-made dessert.
Like,
Overrated.
That shit sucks. That's overrated. It's
Overrated. You remember those like cookie cakes people would bring the fucking bowl like
that were stale as fuck.
Overrated. Overrated, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Or like cupcakes with like inedible frosting. Yeah. Make that shit.
You know what I
Make
really
that
want?
shit at your
I
house.
want some waffles.
All right. This week we are heading to the United Kingdom. So you might want to grab your passport, Sean.
I don't even know where mine is, honestly, to be quite honest. Never had to use it in my life.
I usually just keep mine in like my dresser because
I kind of just have an enhanced license, so like if I ever actually need it, I think I'm good. But I mean, I should probably actually get a passport, an actual passport.
anyways, we're going to learn about something that screams middle school boys locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. We're talking about Axe body spray.
All right.
Which is also the thing that I call allergies in a can. Anyways, sheep farmers, yes, sheep farmers in the United Kingdom are using Axe body spray because it stops rams butting their heads together and mother sheep to adopt lambs.
Mm.
The science is simple. The Axe spray is so strong that it masks their natural hormones,
Mm.
which alters the animal's behavior, which means that the only organism on this planet that doesn't mind the smell is sheep.
Yeah.
So, Sean, since you decided to show the camera a can of Axe body spray,
Okay, you did see it. You did see that.
I did
Okay.
see it. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Do you have any sheep?
I do not own any sheep. No.
In your suburban house? You don't own
No,
any sheep?
I don't own any sheep. I can't say I do.
No, but it would be crazy if one just showed up on camera.
Jeez. Freaking just my door, just my freaking ram just not rams my door down. Jeez.
Right. But I'd like to think that this whole story is just like modern problem requires modern solution.
That's what I would think. Even though Axe is kind of like, I don't know, it's been around for so long. Like I remember even using it back in like elementary school, like fourth grade, like third, fourth grade. So like 18 years ago. So I don't even really know. Like I obviously still use Axe. I don't know like how popular it still is. Like obviously it's popular enough that it keeps
coming
it,
up.
it keeps coming out and they keep
Yeah.
selling it. But like, is it like I don't know how really even of a modern thing it is too. I feel like the like modern way to go would be to use Old Spice or something, even though that's been around for a while too. But that's like the one you see advertised. I feel more
Right.
nowadays.
But when I was the first time I encountered it was in middle school, and I never like personally used it because I just like didn't like the smell of it, and I didn't want to smell like it all day. So
Mhm.
I just didn't use it. But like middle school locker room, right after gym class, there was one kid in my grade that would literally empty the can onto himself.
Those aren't cheap cans either.
Like it's probably like the same size as like the can that you showed us. He emptied that entire can
Yeah, this
onto
one,
himself.
the one I showed is about 4 ounces, and the other one I have that's slightly bigger is 5.1 ounces, and I've had these for a while too. So like, I don't use them like every day, but it shows you like I've probably had each of these cans for probably a good maybe year and a half, 2 years maybe. So
Hmm.
like it shows you how much. And again, I don't spray use them every day, but like yeah, like jeez. You always like think it's like when you're a kid and like say your family's getting ready to go to like a family like party or something. And it's a little like of a fancier one, not like dress up formal, but you look nice.
Hmm.
And your mom like sprays all her perfume in it. I always remember that it was always like going to family gatherings. My mom would always spray perfume, and that shit was I feel like the just nastiest stuff ever. Like I guess that like how guys view perfume is maybe how girls view Axe. Even guys view Axe too. I feel like it's either way. I don't know, but yeah.
I personally I don't mind it if the situation is like right. So like
Mhm.
special occasions, yeah, it makes sense. But like my thing with it is like I don't use it, but like I'm like so like allergic to it
Mhm.
that like just the whiff of it makes my throat close. Like it is like that bad.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing with Robert's fucking cat. Uh I can't even tell you the amount of allergy meds that I am on when I go over to that apartment. But um and the answer is a lot. Um anyways, but I I wouldn't really do that, but like I understand the thing. But
Mhm.
like I don't really it's not that I don't like it or that I'm severely allergic to it. It's the people that use way too much
Mhm.
because I think it's probably because that they can't smell it, so they think it's not enough.
Yeah, personally, like me, because I've used it for so long now, like, and I don't like spray like for me, it's on the front, on the back,
Hmm.
and then like a couple sprays here, a couple sprays here.
Hmm.
And like, is that a lot? I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, but
But you're
I
not
feel
doing it every day though.
no, yeah, and I feel again, I am so just used to it that I just like I don't even like think twice about it and everything. Even then, like unless you're around people right there, say like you get in your car, you go to work, it takes like maybe 20 minutes to get to work. Honestly, I feel like the majority of like the very strong essence of it is probably gone by then. Like you're still probably smelling it, but like the really strong that like hits you right there is gone by
Hmm. I mean, like it's not like terrible, but like it's the people that like use way too much of it, and then the
Mhm.
only thing that I can compare them to is like a 90-year-old grandmother at Christmas mass. It's like I'm not sure if you do your thing or whatever your religious beliefs are. It's
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
none of my.
my grandpa was a pastor growing up, so I definitely like I went to church growing up and stuff like that. It was confirmed when I was in eighth grade and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So,
Um,
so I totally get what you're going there with. Yeah.
but like, holy fuck, the entire like church smells like that.
Hmm.
And at least where I go, they have like a church, and they have a like they call it like a parish center. It's a
Hmm.
gym.
Yeah.
It's like an elementary school sized gym where they put all the overflow people in for like Easter or Christmas or stuff like that, and then they'll run another mass in there. There was one year that we went, and we got stuck in the overflow, but like right in the middle of this fucking gym we were sitting in, and like my mom was sitting next to me. I mean, I'm like, in terms of like our family, like I'm on the end, so like there was some random person sitting next to me,
Hmm.
but like my mom was sitting next to me. She had her thing or whatever, but the person sitting next to me literally smelled like they showered in perfume.
I can like
And
smell that like just now. Like I can picture it like perfectly.
I'm sitting there, at least for like this Christmas mass. Some years I'm perfectly fine. Some years I'm like fucking on my deathbed. This was one of those Christmases that I'm sitting there. I think this was one of the Christmases that I had like strep or something like that. That
Mhm.
I'm sitting there. I'm like trying not to cough. I've got like the fucking button up shirt, and I'm like trying to like hold it over like my mouth so like I'm not coughing on anybody. My dad comes over. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, he's like, "If you need to cough, go outside." And then I spent the rest of the math outside.
You know,
No,
it is
because
what it is.
it got like, obviously like being sick was not good in the first place, but like at least when I was sick, like any like smell or anything would instantly make me dizzy. Didn't matter if it was like food or perfume or dog shit. Like any smell made me dizzy.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah, and I think that goes back
I
to like the people. I think that goes back to the people who like who use the stuff like so much that I think they just don't even realize it at that point
mhm.
because they're so used to it. It's like any kind of thing. Like say like people who own cats. Like you go to over to someone's house and you instantly get the smell of cat.
I
But
mean,
like
I'm
for them, it's just normal. Like they don't probably smell anything. Like I have personally like I had a dog growing up all the time. People probably come to my house and be like, "Oh, it smells like dog in here," which I don't know if it does. But in any place I go to that has a dog, and I'm like, I don't like smell anything because I'm so used to dogs and stuff like that.
right. I mean, I had a dog growing up. I have a dog now. Um, I probably have gone quote unquote nose blind to what she smells like, but like going over to Robert's apartment and Robert's cat instantly smell. Instantly smell.
It's not even
Like
really it's not even really the cat
it
thing too.
doesn't smell
It's the litter.
terrible.
It's
It
the
just
litter
it,
box.
it smells like there's something off, and
Yeah.
you don't really
It
know what it is.
yeah, and
Like
it's
it's
usually the like litter box itself. It's not even really like CAD. It's the litter box.
right. But wow, that was a tangent.
Yeah.
We kind of bitched about some people there too, but it was
I think you did more of the bitching than anything. For me, it was
well, because
more.
I think it relates to people, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we all not that we all know that one person. Maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't. But if you don't know that one person, you know the exact smell that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments?
I think we covered it all
I
there.
think we did cover it all. All right, so we're
Yeah.
gonna move on to meanwhile. All right, so normally this would be random thoughts with Rob, and Rob would get baked as fuck and then say something completely retarded. Which is how we got random thoughts with Rob. Yeah, that segment, I think when this episode comes out, that segment turns 3 years old. And we've been doing it the same way ever since. Anyways, Robert is not with us. So instead, we're going to change random thoughts to meanwhile. And since Sean, our sideline reporter, hasn't talked to us in months, we're going to head to the sideline reporter. So, Sean, what have you been up to?
Well, just working and stuff. The life of a Instacart slash Shipt shopper in the Buffalo, New York area, if also being an actor and set construction worker in the Buffalo, New York area. I just closed up a show about, I'd say, a month ago now at this point. I start rehearsals for another show in a few days, actually, which is exciting.
Hmm.
And then
What show?
Titanic the musical. That could be a whole other thing another time, but we'll get to that another
Do
time.
you
But
slowly drown the audience?
no, sadly, I don't think so. It's more the concert musical bit, so our performances might drown, but that's about it. But and then you know, because we were talking about this. This is why I wanted to get on. Is just the stories. Because I feel how many times have I been on? We've had like Instacart stories and everything. Like I know I've told the one about how I was doing an order once and my cart just mysteriously disappeared on me once.
That happened to me recently, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like I
then
was in the middle of an order, and like I walked away to like go get something because they added something like right at the end, and then I came back and like all like 40 items in that cart plus that cart gone. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so that happened to me.
And half of it, the annoying part was half of it was produce.
Oh,
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
oh my god. So yeah, so there was that. I don't remember what else I've told on here. Trying to think. I don't remember what other stories I told on here. I don't know
There's
how
been
many.
many.
I
There's
don't know
been
how
so
many
many.
I've told that have to do with like something that doesn't even really have to do with the job, but more happened while I was working. So this was this story.
This was the story? Okay.
This is
Okay.
the story, yeah. So this happened yesterday too.
So in terms of filming and recording, this happened 2 weeks
Yesterday
ago.
as of filming this, yes. Yesterday as of filming this.
Yes.
So it's all fresh in my mind. But here we go. So this was my first order of the day. I start this order probably 10 in the morning, probably is when I started. Um, and this was not on Instacart. This was the app, which I use probably more now, is called Shipt, Shipt. Kind of an unfortunate name there if you don't say it clearly enough, but it's actually
Shit.
pretty good. Yeah, it's actually
You
pretty
could
good
say
money.
those words here, Sean. It's fine.
Yeah, true. But you know, for the audience, all 10 people who will probably watch this, but
Well, it's like he's looking at the analytics.
exactly. My TikTok gets more views than your podcast here, so
Ironically, the TikTok gets more views than the podcast.
of course it does.
And the podcast TikTok gets more views than the actual podcast.
Of course it does. So this was on Shift, which actually I like using more because I feel I don't know if necessarily the money's better, but you can do more orders at a time, which kind of in a way I think makes the money seem better.
What
Because
do you mean by orders at a time?
Like instead of like Instacart, they'll send you sign in. It's either like one order, 2 orders, or 3 orders, or batches, whatever. But that's like your choice. You don't get to choose if you do multiple. Like once you accept one, you're doing that specific one, no matter how many batches it is. With Shipt, like they'll have the screen of like what orders are available. And if you're going to the same store, they're at least like being kind of delivered in the same zone, kind of, or you're fine with making the drive or whatever. You can do multiple orders at once. Like I think the most you can do at once is 4, I want to say. So like, and it'd be one order. Sometimes they'll send you like a double order too, whatever, but you can still then add on to that. So you could like do say like 4 orders and each of them end up being like say $8 each, just like an example. And then like so in total for that hour and a half you're working on those orders from getting to the store, shopping them and delivering them, you make like $32 before tips, and then all the tips come in. Honestly, some of the tips on these orders are amazing. Honestly, better than most Instacart tips. Like, yeah, you'll get your customers who tip you like a few bucks, which it's still fine, like whatever.
It's still
But then
more than I made with DoorDash.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's way better than DoorDash. But then like you get your customers who tip you like $15 on the regular. I have a customer that I do regularly with that will tip me anywhere from 35 on the low end, maybe 25 on the low end, to like $60 on like a good day.
I had an Instacart order the other day that was like $10, but it was from like a Wegmans.
Mm-hmm.
The Wegmans on Sheridan.
Yeah.
But it was going to I want to say Batavia.
$10 just total?
Here's the thing. I am totally fine with making the drive if I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
I'm totally
yeah,
fine
no,
with making the
absolutely.
drive if I'm not getting anything else.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like $10, fine. I'll cut the loss. It's 15 items.
That's just
fine,
more of a
whatever.
tax. That's just more of a tax deduction there for gas.
Exactly.
And the mileage you use it. There's more of a tax deduction there.
Yeah, which I have the Everlance app that
Exactly. I used the Stride app myself, but whatever.
because I used to do Instacart and Dashing, so I could choose which one it was. Just easier.
Stride app, it doesn't really ask you. It's just like put the miles down and we'll worry about the rest later.
That's what I like about the Everlance though, is that it will track all the trips you make, and then you can classify them as to what they were.
Sure. Usually
Or
when
it
I
will
enter
give you like a
miles,
notification, like after like 10 minutes of like not moving, well, quote unquote not moving, but like you go to a store after driving 10 minutes, it will give you a notification. It's like, what was this for? And then you could just put like for work or for personal.
Stride app, I usually just enter my miles manually. I just check my trip on my car, and it's just easier that way. And then I'll write down a description of the trip, like, oh yeah, I did this many orders for this app between this and this time frame,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
But anyway, I shot for the order. I get it out there. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour after I've accepted this. I'm about 10 minutes from the house. I can't see shit. Like, this house is like in the middle of bumfuck. This house
Was
is
it at
past
night?
nowhere.
Was it
Yeah.
at night? I'm guessing. Or, okay.
Past nowhere, country road, no light at all. I am like praying to God that my GPS does not die. Because like there's no like signs anywhere. It's
Mhm.
literally like fucking back road. But I get there, I drop it off, and I texted them. I texted the customer or whatever. It's like, just so you're aware, I'm usually not out here. I don't know where I am, so this might take a few extra minutes. I only showed up like 5 or 10 minutes late,
Yeah, which
but that's also
Instacart's
coming
not
from almost
Instacart's not even
45 minutes away.
yeah. Our Instacart's
Um,
not even really big on like the late thing, honestly. I don't even think they really care that much about it.
I mean, they care if like you're 6 hours late, but like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you're like 5 or 10 minutes late, I don't even like 15. I don't
it
think they're
doesn't
really
really affect anything.
yeah, I don't think they're really that hard
Um,
on you about it. So
but I drive home. I'm driving home, and I drive home, get home, I come inside. I look at my phone, and there's a notification from the person I just dropped off at. It says this person has tipped you $65. I'm like,
yeah. That is always the greatest thing when you get the tips in later. For one, because one Instacart, I feel like it happens to me more now than it had like maybe the first couple years, but where a customer will tip you a little more. It's usually not like that much more. Maybe it's like a couple bucks. They raise it a couple bucks, or maybe they'll like some actually will raise it. But yeah, no, I've definitely had those on Ship where like I do the order and you don't see the tips right away. I don't know why Ship does it. They only show you when you take the order how much you're making just for the order. Like usually tips don't come in till way later. Even if the customer tips right away when they make the order, the tip will you'll get a notification for the tip like 5 hours later. I don't get why it does it that way. It's kind of weird, but like whatever. You get the money
right.
basically. But I've definitely gotten those. So my story has nothing to really even do with the order. But so again, so I start the order like 10 at 10. Going from like Williamsville to Lockport. For anybody like
Okay,
who
so you probably took transit, right?
yes, no, exactly. So
Okay.
like anyone who watches this and is not from this area, that's like the
The
area.
main road in between.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how many orders. Oh, yeah, orders. I don't know how many items the order was for. Had to be a decent amount because I think the order itself was like $15.
So let me ask a question really quick.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the main difference, like, regardless of, like, with Instacart, like, you get like 1, 2, or 3, and Shipped, you can pick up like extra ones if you're in the same area or
Mm-hmm.
same store or whatever. What would you say is like the main difference other than that between the two?
Um.
Or are they relatively, like, other than that, are they relatively the same?
Relatively the same. I mean, Ship has less stores.
Okay.
I would say like the main store you're mainly gonna shop out of is Target.
I've had a handful of Instacarts at Target, so
yeah, like they're like Instacart has Target orders here and there. I've done a couple, but
they're a
Ship
pain in
is
the
mainly
ass.
Target.
Like,
Ship is mainly Target with like a couple other stores here and there, but it's mainly Target orders. I'd say that's the main difference. I think the way they like how they calculate the pay might be different. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Usually the orders are way less items. Like it's very common for orders to be only like maybe anywhere from 8 to like 20 at most items. Like I orders that are from anything from like 25 items or more. They're not rare, but they're not like the most common.
Okay.
So I'd say that. But even then, I think tips end up being better on Shift for whatever reason. I don't know why. I feel like customers on there just tip better when they do tip. So I bet I don't know. That's
Anyway, okay,
um.
go back to your story. I was just
So I do the order. Nothing wrong with the order. The customer was fine. Like he was responsive and stuff. If I needed to ask him something or I need to replace an item. I will say another difference is it's easier to communicate with the customer on Shift. And
okay.
it's actually more essential than it is on Instacart. That's all I'll say. I can explain that to you privately another time if you
Yeah,
ever.
well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah. So I do the order, deliver it out. It probably takes me like 20 minutes maybe to deliver it. Maybe a little less. So I deliver the order, nothing wrong. But I didn't have another order. It was pretty dead yesterday. Like it was a slow day, like it happens here and there. So I'm like, okay, I'll just pull off to the side, like obviously get out of the customer's driveway because I'm not gonna wait there for like up to a half hours. That'd be weird. And I'll just pull off to the curb, like drive down the street a little bit and just pull to the curb and just wait. Just wait it out. Because what else am I gonna do? Drive around and hope something comes in? Like, yeah, I could do that. Like maybe
I do
worse,
that with Instacart
but then
sometimes.
yeah, but then you're like
Like,
wasting gas too. And with Shipt, it's not really depending where the area, because you're gonna see orders. Again, I can explain it to you another time. They have different zones for Shipt of like where, so it's like I won't say like what the zones are on here, but it's like you don't have to be in a certain zone to just get that order. You'll see orders from all the zones, basically. They want. So it doesn't even matter what area you're in, you're gonna see the order no matter. And yeah, I mean I even Instacart, I know that's not like a thing. Like they will send you orders from like further away, but
I'll do
like
some of those orders because I like the drive
yeah,
to get there.
exactly. So like there was no point to just driving around, waste gas. Like it's just not and waste the miles too. Like yeah, tax deduction, fine, but like I'm not wasting the gas. That's just annoying. Even though my new car it does not take a lot of money to fill it up, but it has a great miles per gallon. So technically pay
My
less to
car
have.
is the opposite.
Yeah, well, get a new car.
Fuck you.
Get a new car. I'll get you in touch with my guy I bought my car from. We'll get to that later. But so pull drive down the street a little bit. Not I didn't even leave. I didn't leave the neighborhood because it's like again, where else am I gonna go? Like, I might as well just pull to the side there. Like, if I'm in a neighborhood, like whatever. So, but I also am like very self conscious of pulling in front of people's houses because again, I don't want to like make people think like signs up. So,
Right.
but sometimes that's just unavoidable. Sometimes like we live in like the Buffalo area, it's a very heavily populated area. You're not just going to be in the middle of nowhere all the time. So sometimes you're just going to be parked in front of people's houses, and most people don't care about that. We'll get to that. So so what I tried to do, and this was like a fairly new Richie neighborhood, but new. It's not like there's houses just everywhere. So I pulled down the street to where on one side there are houses, but I try pulling in between because it's like I'm not going to pull directly in front of one of them. But then on my right is nothing. It's like a pond. So there's nothing. There's no house there. So then I just shut my car off and just go on my phone and wait for a notification for another order. Like simple as that. And I'm probably there for maybe I don't know how long it ended up being. Probably maybe a half hour. Because usually with Ship, they'll send you orders at the top of the hour kind of thing. Usually they'll send you it earlier before the next time thing. Again, I can explain that to you privately another time how that works. But sometimes that could take a while. So I'm like, okay, so it was probably maybe a half hour at most. And I'm just going on my phone, just like watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like nothing crazy. I'm not like looking around the neighborhood or anything like that. I'm just
Stalking people.
yeah. Oh my god. So like they're just watching YouTube videos, just like minding my own business. My phone, my face is basically on my phone the whole time. Then I get an order. I'm like, cool. Start the car, leave. Simple as that. Like I got an order. Okay, go. So I drive out of the neighborhood and get on back onto transit, which is not too far away. As I turn onto transit, I see a car next to me. I'm like thinking, oh, they like want to get ahead of me or something. Like I'm in the left lane, they're in the right lane. Maybe they want to get past me because they're speeding up. But then as soon as they get to me, they slow down and are matching my speed perfectly. I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I, but then they also kind of like slow down too, kind of thing too. It's really weird. Or even I tried to like slow down, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they're trying to get ahead of me. Like they're not going fast enough to get ahead of me. So I'm like, okay, I'll slow down to let them just get ahead of me, like get in front of me. If you're gonna cut me off, whatever.
Right.
They also slow down. Again, matching my speed perfectly. And then I look over and this woman
Is flipping you off.
No, not even flipping me off. She's filming my car. Like pretty dangerous. Just barely paying attention to the road. Like filming my car, like not looking at the road, just filming my car. Then at some point she gets behind me to get like my license plate or something. I don't even know. I'm like, okay, this woman, clearly I did something to piss her off. I'm like thinking, oh, because it was windy that day too, and you know how sometimes like if the wind's strong enough, your car the wind will kind of push your car
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, like it happens. So I thought, oh, maybe she like pushed me the other lane. Maybe she thought I was trying to like hit her or something. I don't know. But then I'm like, okay, now I know what's going on. So now I'm like trying to lose her, and there's traffic, so I can't even really lose her. And she's if I switch lanes, she switches, or she gets in the other lane next to me to like be right next to me to not let me like get away or whatever. I'm like, okay. So I'm like in my head, I'm not like freaking out, but I'm kind of like, what the fuck do I do? Like I'm not gonna ram her car. That'd be stupid. Not gonna I can't really outspeed her. Like there's other cars. I can't really outrace her. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we get to a red light. I'm in like the left lane or something here. And she tried so hard to get in the same lane as me, right behind me. She almost hit like other cars too. Like she was like being really
Seems about
not,
right.
yeah, like being very neglective of like other cars like in the area. So I stop. She is right behind me. She gets out of her car, not filming this too, which I don't get why she wouldn't film coming up to my car, the actual confrontation, but whatever. And she gets out, and just side note, it's this middle age, I don't know, like in her 40s or something. Like I don't know.
Okay.
And she's wearing pajamas, like these pink pajamas. Yeah, she's wearing pink pajamas with like white hearts all over them. So I'm like, okay,
She's out of the insane asylum.
yeah. She comes up to my car. She knocks on my window, or knocks on my, or just comes up to my window, like just smug smirk on her face the whole time. I rolled down my window like a little bit. And I said, "Can I fucking help you?" And she's like, "What do you think you're doing?" And I'm like, "I'm driving." And she's like, "Why were you waiting in that neighborhood?" I'm like,
So
"Oh my
so
God."
this bitch followed you from that neighborhood to there.
Pretty much. And we didn't drive like super far. We maybe like 5 minutes away from that neighborhood now at this point, down transit. Like we didn't go like super. It's not like she was following me for like a half hour or anything like
Okay.
that. I feel I would have been able to lose her by that.
Probably.
if she was. Like, I feel like I would have been able to lose her, like at a light or something. I would have sped through a light to get away from her and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. So yeah, and so I'm like, oh my god. And I said I'm waiting for an Instacart order. Like I showed her my phone. And she is just like smug smirk on her face. And I'm just like, this lady is fucking crazy. And she just looks at me and she's like, I know who you are. And I'm like, okay.
You could turn that right around and say, "What's my name?"
No, she did try to. I forgot. She tried to ask me, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "I'm not fucking." Wait, she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm not fucking telling you who I
I
am."
know who you are. What? What?
Yeah. Then she said, "I know who you are," and I'm just like, "Okay." And then she just went back to her car, and I'm just like, "Okay, like whatever." Like I've and granted, again, never seen her before in my life. Never once seen this lady before in my life.
Um,
And then
I
she just turned around and went back home wherever she was, and I just went on my with my day. And I'm just like, okay. So like,
I don't have a story like that, but I'm trying to think of the one I did. I'm not going to go into the full detail because like the full detail isn't all that like exciting until you like actually get there. So I'm just going to fast forward to it's a place in the middle of bumfuck nowhere because that's where I get all my orders now. Because apparently it's decided that, oh, you're willing to drive? Holland. Um uh, anyways, I get there to find like I've got like 5 or 6 bags in my back seat or whatever to deliver. And this person's golf cart is being repossessed. Now, I didn't really know what to do in this situation. Because like I'm like delivering groceries. I don't know whose golf cart this is. I really don't. Like I'm standing there. Like I pull in the driveway. I pull in the driveway. I'm like unloading the bags, and the guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Is this your golf cart?" I'm like, "I'm not from here." It's,
I feel like you did tell me this story pretty recently or something like that.
I might have. I don't know.
Or something. Like I heard something. I don't know why I feel like I've heard something recently about a freaking golf cart getting repossessed or something.
This golf cart gets repossessed. He's like, "So this isn't your golf cart?" I'm like, "No."
I didn't even I
And
didn't think that was possible for a
I
golf
didn't
cart to
think
get repossessed because I
I
just
didn't think
didn't
it was
think that
possible either. And
they
there
were
they
just
were,
doing it that way. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
full like normal like tow truck pulling away this fucking golf cart. Uh, uh, getting repossessed. Funniest thing on the planet. But like I'm delivering uh I'm delivering the groceries, and the first thought that comes into my head after I see this golf cart get repossessed and I'm delivering Instacart, and like this store that it had me shop at was like almost 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you have money for Instacart but you don't have money for your golf cart?
That's a good point. I mean, I don't know how much golf cart costs.
I don't know how much it costs either, but the fact
But
that you were
I can't
leasing a
imagine
golf
it's
cart
like that. Yeah, exactly.
means
But
that you have no money.
yeah. But I do want to like just real quick just before we end this, I do want to like get back to my story real quick because I think that is a bit of a warning for people to like be careful on these or while you're doing these orders
Right. Yeah,
because
you never know what you're gonna walk
you
yourself
really
into.
never know. You really never know what you're gonna. I mean, I feel like if I could say this is like the most dangerous thing that's ever happened to me on the job, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I want to say dangerous because I don't know how dangerous it really is because nothing really came out of it. She kind of just got back in her car and drove away. But again, like some people like, and I'm not gonna make fun of people here, like trying to make fun of people here might have issues, but like she definitely did not seem like she was like in the right head. Because again, the way she's going through traffic and everything, like filming on her phone, just following my car around, no sane person would ever do that.
Right.
Unless they actually had a good reason. Like, granted, yes, like me sitting in that neighborhood for like a half hour, like, does it look weird if there's a car there that's never been there before, just sitting in the neighborhood like that? Like, I'm not saying
Probably.
it doesn't look bad, but like at the same time, people, for one, it is a public street. Like, it's not a private,
It
like,
it looks weird, but like if they're gone in
driveway.
like 5-10 minutes, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And
Probably because they're
granted,
taking well, because my first assumption if that's thing they're making a phone call. Like
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not like someone parks in front of my house. If they're not like, I mean, if they're there for like ever, like, yeah, but if they're there like a half hour at most, I'd still just be like, okay, whatever. Especially if they don't get out of their car, they're not doing anything like technically wrong, which I wasn't doing technically, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was sitting in my car on a public street. Like, and this lady, it almost didn't even like I don't know where she came from, and that had to be really good timing of hers to like really follow me from that neighborhood right when I left. Like either she was waiting for me to leave or something, or that was just perfect timing on her that she maybe was just about to follow me, and then I just so happened to like she was gonna confront me, but then I just so happened to leave, so she got in her car real quick. I don't like I really don't know. Again, I've never seen this lady in my life, but like people just don't be too suspicious of stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, it's never really necessarily a bad thing to be cautious about stuff. Like, it really is, especially in the world we live in today. But you really just got to be careful, especially like Instacarters and stuff like that. You really got to be careful in these jobs. Like, sitting like just sitting in your car could be dangerous. Luckily, this woman didn't do anything. If anything, I don't know what she was being so ballsy about. She could have come across the wrong. She comes across the wrong person, then she could have been in trouble. Because anybody like me, like I'm not going to do anything. If anything, I might argue with you, but I'm not going to like do anything. But like she does that to the wrong person, she can get her fucking head blown off.
right.
Like I think she's lucky that I just didn't have like a weapon on me to like threaten her with or something like that, because that could have escalated quickly. But like you really do have to be careful on orders like that, because there are people like this that like for whatever reason they might think they're doing a good thing, but really they're just kind of starting drama for no
Right.
reason.
All
Like
right.
again, to follow me from that neighborhood. I don't even remember seeing that car in that neighborhood. Like I don't know. Like to me it really seemed like she was just some kind of it's a typical Karen kind of thing. Like they're trying to seem all powerful law. Like it's that kind of thing, honestly. So just like again, be careful. If you ever need to call the cops in that situation, it's not wrong. Always have your phone on you. I did not film her. I did not film any of this. I have no footage of this, so it's all just on my word of mouth. But if you ever feel like you're being confronted like this by somebody for no reason, if you film them too, there's not if they're filming you, then they give up the right to not be filmed too. Like so they could free will to film them as well, to be honest. But nothing luckily nothing came of it. Again, nothing will come of it. I didn't do anything wrong. She doesn't know who I am. She's just trying to scare me. Like, you didn't scare me, lady. I will go back to the neighborhood to deliver orders again too. And that customer tipped me $15. Like, of course, if I get their orders again, I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah. You should park in her driveway next time.
I don't even know where she came from. I don't even know if she came from that neighborhood. I really don't.
I mean, if she did, and like it was like in the driveway, you should just park in it and then like deliver it across the street.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I I don't know if it's the best Instacart ship DoorDash store I've ever had, but it's definitely top five. Just because of how crazy it is. Just because it's so like What the fuck?
All right. All right. So that was a very long meanwhile. So Sean probably put about 3 months of information into about 15 minutes. So we're gonna move on to overrated or underrated. All right. And now a game where Sean and I don't have to agree, but the listener is always wrong. So this is overrated or underrated. Yes, this is how we've been introducing the segment, Sean. So it doesn't matter what you at home pick, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you agree with one of them. So overrated or underrated? Impractical Jokers now.
I feel like my family will give me hate for this, but I kind of think overrated only because, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, I didn't grow up watching them. I don't even know when Impractical Jokers, like, I don't remember exactly when its first year was, but I definitely remember watching, like, the first few seasons pretty regularly. And
The first few
me and my,
seasons were funny as fuck. Like they
yeah, no, they were really good. And then me and my family saw them live when they came to Buffalo back in, like, 2018, like, early 2018, I want to say.
Mhm.
And it was fun, like, too. But nowadays, I mean, it's I want to say it started when Joe left, but I think it was even kind of before that. I think honestly, at this point, the show has run its course. Like, I don't really see now. It is just kind of a repeat of just everything they've done. Like, I feel like this was a show that could have, like, it was good for a few seasons, but then eventually it just is like, okay, it's the same
Move
thing over
on. Yeah.
again. Yeah, like, you just move on.
So
So I'd say overrated.
I'm
Now,
gonna say overrated as well.
yeah.
Um all right. Overrated or underrated? Bougie coffee.
Overrated only because any coffee to me is gross. I hate coffee. So I'll just
Okay.
leave it at that.
Um I'm gonna go two ways on this. Bougie coffee from Tim Hortons. Overrated. Um Bougie coffee from like Spot. Underrated.
Mhm.
The bougie coffee from Tim Hortons sucks. Like it is terrible. It is trying it is coffee that is trying to do something that coffee was not designed to do.
Mhm.
Uh, it's it it's like that coffee, like the coffee beans are a screw, and you're hitting it in with a hammer. it doesn't work. like, a spot, however, depending on what you get, I get like a variety of things, but anything with espresso in it at spot is fantastic. So I'm gonna say for that, underrated. But overrated or underrated, blow up dino suits.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't ever need to own one because it's just, I don't need one. But I'll say underrated because they are kind of funny. Like they still kind of like make me laugh a little bit. Like they're stupid, don't get me wrong, but like they're when I see
gonna-
videos like TikToks or like videos on Instagram or Facebook on them, I do kind of like giggle a little bit. Depending like what they do with it.
I'm gonna say they are underrated, especially in a race.
All right.
And they are funny as hell. Like,
Yeah.
because like obviously like the person inside is not as big as the actual thing, so the head's just wobbling back and forth like a fucking wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube, man. So for that, I'm gonna say underrated. Overrated or underrated? The fourth Despicable Me movie.
Overrated. Why did we even need sequels to Despicable Me at all? Maybe I get like of course making a second one like fine, but then after that, and this goes for a lot of movie franchises, it's like stop. Like you're now specifically being a money grab.
Toy Story 4 was a mistake.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it yet, but like I'll eventually see it. But it's just like what? Just stop. Like just stop. We don't need more of them. Just like come up with something new.
Okay. I'm gonna say overrated. Overrated or underrated? That one guy.
No comment because I don't really understand.
It's an inside joke with Robert and I.
Then yeah, then I'm not gonna.
Because Robert will say, I'll be like that one guy, and he'll be like, no, fuck overrated or underrated. Fuck that guy. Like
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna play into that. It's not my joke.
I'll play into it. It's my joke. Fuck that guy. Anyways, overrated or underrated? This is the last one. Overrated or underrated? Watching a drone hit a power line.
I've never seen that happen before.
It's funny as hell.
I've never seen anybody be stupid enough to fly a drone into a power line.
Thankfully, it wasn't my power line, but I've watched like my cousin fly his like pocket-sized drone into his uncle into his dad's power line, and it just fucking like got caught up like it like the fucking like knuckle in it that holds it to the pole, so now it's just stuck there.
I will say overrated because again, who is stupid enough to do that?
Apparently my cousin
Unless it's
is.
windy, unless it's windy in the wind, which even then you shouldn't be flying your drones when it's windy out to begin with, but
All right.
I'll say overrated because that who people are stupid.
All right. Do you have any overrated or underrateds?
I do not.
You do not? All right. So we're going to move on to fill in the blank. All right, so this is fill in the blank. And we're doing Craigslist this week, and we decided that we're going to do cars because Sean just bought a car and I really need one. So,
Told you I'll send you to the guy who I got my car from.
anyways, Sean has two. I have one really long one, so we're going to have Sean go first.
Yes. So this one, I imagine you'll put the photos of it
I
up
will.
already. So this is a 1966 Ford 100. Now, I am not a car expert. I am not. I've never found them interesting in that way to really know much about them. But I can tell you, this makes me laugh because I just find that everything about this ad so hard to believe. Now, do I think this person's actually selling this car? Yes, the photo looks legit. It doesn't look like it's something that someone just grabbed from the internet. But everything about this, I just find bullshit. So, first of all, here's the description. A 1966 F100 Ford short bed step side barn find from New Jersey, clean, clear, New York title, all of those numbers that I don't know what they mean. Run and drives $10,000. Collector item or idem, not
Idem.
idem. Please serious calls only. And we're not going to show their contact information.
Nope.
And again, it's a 1966 Ford F100, fuel, gas, odometer, 40,000. Okay. I find a lot hard to believe about this car. One, $10,000 collector's item or idem.
Idem.
Now, yes, car collecting is a very popular thing in America. Like, people do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Especially with old people.
Yes, exactly. Or people who are just rich. Like, there's nothing wrong with car collecting, personally. I would not do it, but nothing wrong with it. And nothing wrong with wanting to have vintage cars. I don't know much about this car, especially like a Ford F. Like again, I don't know much about cars, but a 1966 Ford F100. Normally, that's not one of the cars you hear is a very popular collector's item.
Nope.
Usually, I feel like collector's items are Corvettes, Mustangs, like older Dodge Chargers or Challengers, because I know my dad really wants one of those. So, $10,000. My trade-in for my 14 Sonata that still runs very well, it has a lot of miles on it, but still runs very well, was only 3,000. I get it, that's a trade-in. Like when they put that car up for auction, it might go for more than that. I get that. $10,000. I imagine you have the picture up, just look at it.
It's got fucking flames on it.
Yeah, it looks like a custom car you would do in like Grand Theft Auto. Like
And
nothing about
but your
this looks.
mechanic-
I've never seen a car in my life, or even a truck like this in my life look like this, or any really collector kind of car look like this before. Unless it's like some kind of like Corvette or something like that.
Instead of your mechanic say, what's wrong with it now? It's the fuck did you do to it?
Exactly. And like again, I'm not questioning that this person isn't actually selling this. Like again, the picture looks legit. I mean, just zooming in on it, like it looked like I'm sure the car does actually look like that. I'm not saying it doesn't, but just like $10,000 for something that looks like that.
All right.
Like I could see. No, I'm not done. Like I could see, like old Ford trucks like this being like used in collector's items. Like you see them pop up in movies, all the older movies, all the time. Like so, obviously there's a market for it, but. Again, $10,000 for something that clearly looks customized. And for one, and again, run and drives. So the person on here clearly not the brightest bulb. And it was a barn find. I have no clue what that means.
Okay, so that means a barn find is classified as a car found in a barn that is basically like put away and like not touched for years. Like everything is just gone. Like you are lucky if this thing starts.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
basically what a barn find is.
So I'm not gonna question that the person would have put money into this car then to fix it up, but $10,000? I feel like to fix up a car like this, it probably cost the person more than that. And I also find it hard to believe 40,000 miles. I'm sorry. I find it very hard to believe that
It's
any
missing a
car.
zero.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even then, if it was, then a Ford would not last to 400,000 miles. I find it very hard to believe a car like this that wasn't like some kind of collector sport car or anything like that. Like, the car in Ferris Bueller's Day Off that Cameron's dad has.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. If it's not a car like that, I find it very hard to believe a car this old has 40,000 miles. That is bullshit.
All
So
right.
I think, I'm not saying that the car isn't real and it's not a scam, but I think everything said about the car is a scam.
All right. Do you want to do your other one before I do a really long one?
Might as well. Let's go to this now. This one isn't. I don't know really how funny this is. I just more when I looked this up, just couldn't believe that these get sold. So it is a. I don't. I don't know if this is okay. Here's the actual thing. It's a 2009 GMC C8500 Top Kick. So this is basically one of those trucks that you see like electricians use when they have to go up to like fix wires and stuff,
Power lines.
power lines, or to get freaking drones out of power lines. Basically, it's what they use. So, see, nothing about this to me screams scam, because for one, why would you try to scam someone on something like this? That's weird as it is. 2009 GMC C8500 Top Deck. Excellent condition, 6 cylinders, rear wheel drive, which really, why are you getting a rear wheel drive car? Diesel fuel, which that seems pretty right. 1,000, no, 1,000, 139,938 miles,
That seems
which
right.
that seems pretty legit. White, title status is clean, transmission automatic. Also didn't mention the truck before was a manual, I'm pretty sure it said, which that is a red flag right then and there too. And obviously a truck. See, again, nothing I think that's really that funny about this. I just would not ever expect car searching to see something like this come up. And who is, because I'm gonna go back to you to see your face count around this, because I just want to need to see your reaction. Who would be the person to buy this type of car? Like, for one, what would you ever use it for besides getting drones out of power lines? And like, why would you ever need it? And here's the price for it: $59,495.
Maybe you want to start your own electrician company.
See, you know what? Yes, that is the only way I could see this being like legit.
On the go mechanic.
Yeah, like someone who is starting their own company or needs a truck for their company. Like that I can totally like buy into. But again, like, why would you post it on Craigslist then?
You tear the entire thing apart except for the cab, and you build up a camper on the back of it.
Honestly, that would be the only reason I
You
see
load
someone
it with
buying
seats
that.
and take it to a Bills game.
That is the only reason I see someone buying this, is to literally customize the shit out of it and turn it into something that it was not made for. That is legit the only reason I would see anyone buying this, other than, again, electrician company. It needs a truck, kind of thing.
All right, ready?
Yeah, And then
I'm about to
I'm
win
sure
this segment
I'm
right
sure
now.
I'm sure you'll put
Um,
all the photos things up too, so you can see all the for the truck. All the just amazing things it comes with. All these great 2,000 pound lifting eye. Can't beat that. $59,000. Can't beat that.
no. Okay. I'm about to win this segment, okay? Because I'm about to show you how this segment is really done.
Well, you told me last second to do this, so minimal effort.
All right, 1999 Chevrolet Cavalier, 166,000 miles, automatic, $700, Kenosha.
But Kenosha,
It's
Canada.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay.
1999 Chevrolet Cavalier two-door base model black 166,000 miles automatic 2.2-liter engine. Okay, this car is an absolute piece of shit. Seriously, if you are a single guy and you are hoping to get laid this summer, don't even bother reading the rest of this ad. Driving this car will assure that you will assure you of a hot season of involuntary abstinence. Better than inviting girls to your weekly Dungeons and Dragons game in your mom's basement. This thing runs fine and may give you two or more good years of exploding into a fiery box of death. Or ... It could wait until you're asleep in the first night you take it home and decide it's to end its own miserable existence right in your driveway. The bad. This is its own section. The bad. This car has a bunch of dents and cosmetic stuff going on. Someone sideswiped it in a parking lot and then just drove out without leaving a note. By the way, if that's you and you're reading this, you complete D-bag. I wouldn't have even called the cops, dude, but you brought me a case of beer and then to drown out the soul-crushing pain of having to drive this piece of shit car to my awful job every day. All of that I just said is in parentheses. I hit a deer last year and had to replace a headlight. Hitting a deer is a fucking terrifying. Seriously, I don't think that deer liked it either. This is still in the same section. Almost rust-free, but I noticed a small spot starting the bottom of the driver's door about midwinter. I thought to myself, quote, I should do something about that rust spot, end quote. Then I didn't do anything about that rust spot.
Let me guess, it's spread.
It did. That is pretty much how I tend to deal with adversity in my life. ABS wasn't working right, so I just disabled it. Front end makes a little noise when turning all the way. Garage told me it's a bushing thing. I asked if it was dangerous to drive in for the next 6 months, and they said it shouldn't be a big deal. The gas gauge is like a drunk girl on her period, confusing and mostly useless. You never really know how much gas you have in this thing. So you just keep track yourself. I had to stay on full for 2 weeks. Then I got a block away from my house and it goes to E and the light comes on. I come to a traffic light with it reading quarter of a tank, and then watched it go to full, and then down to half, and then the light turned green. The good is a whole nother section. The good. As far as I'm aware, this car is not in any type of malicious voodoo or ancient Chinese curse placed upon it. This next sentence and a half is in parentheses.
Okay.
That is not implied guarantee that this automobile is not cursed. Just that if one does exist, I am not aware of it. End parentheses. sound like it should be a positive for this car, as it is the base model with no power options. That is a benefit if you're getting this old piece of shit car. No power windows or locks to break when you to break on you when you take it to the junkyard for parts. The good pain in the ass. It is not
Better
good.
pain in the ass than pain in the head, I guess. But I mean,
For a little 2.24 banger, means it's got 4 cylinders. It does not have good gas mileage.
I will say, didn't the thing say 2-cylinder at the beginning?
No, it's a 2.2 liter.
Okay, never mind.
That's the displacement.
No, I heard it wrong the first time. You're good.
Lots of parts have been replaced on this car.
I'd imagine.
Just before winter, I got new plugs, wires, PCV. That's a sensor for the air intake. Fuel filter, air filter, battery, and muffler. Computer was replaced last year, and the tie rods and the brakes. Water pump 2 years ago. All of these should outlast the car. Ready for this? The
Yeah.
good and bad.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Basically, this car has no stereo. Now wait, before you go to Amazon and buy a cheap $20 unit for you to listen to Pandora, I think it is of this as an opportunity. Can you play the harmonica? I bet you can't. But this is your big chance to become a pro at a child's mouth organ. What is the biggest obstacle to getting a bodacious like Mr. John Popper? Until you learn to play correctly, listening to someone practice their harmonica is the most painful thing a human can inflict on another human being. Now that you can use your time in transit...
Clearly someone's never heard someone practice the bagpipes.
Now that you use your time in transit to learn, and no one has to hear you or want to kill themselves as a result, before you know, you'll be blasting those crispy riffs, and people will want to come jam with their buddy's band. So look, no stereo seems bad, but it's really not. Cup half full, dude. This is the last sentence. Please come take this car out of my life. I want to start dating women again.
Damn.
That is the entire ad. I told you it was a walk, but it was
to
worth
the
it.
point. They're honest. You got to give them their honesty.
So, and then it's got the stats on here. 1999 Chevrolet Cavalier.
Okay.
Odometer, 166,000 miles.
That's
Fuel,
honestly pretty impressive.
fuel,
I think.
gas.
I mean, I'd assume.
Transmission, automatic. Title, status, clean.
Not according to that description.
Condition, I hate this car.
Honestly, this whole thing sounds like if when I got rid of my Jetta 5 years ago,
This is what
that's
it's gonna be
basically
like
just
when I
what
get my
that
car
ad would
now.
have sounded like, except replace that Chevy with the Jetta.
Right.
And probably for less money than $700. Because I got 400 of it just for them to junk it.
I'm gonna probably guess that I'm gonna get maybe about 100 for them to junk it. Anyway, that's my ad. That's my lone suggestion for this episode.
I want you to please send me the link to this ad because I would love to just see it for myself.
Sure. I will either in a bit or tomorrow. But we're going to move on to Time to Bitch. All right, so it's time to bitch. Sean claims that he already bitched.
I think bitching about a Karen following me and filming my car, I think technically qualifies as a bitch. So,
Anyway, it's my turn.
I can bitch about how late it is and how tired I am and I want to go to bed because I work, but I'm not going to do that on camera.
Anyways, here's where I'm gonna start. Okay.
Mhm.
The first pitch that I'm gonna have is, why do fast food places that claim to be like as fast as McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's,
Mhm.
like the regular fast food places,
Yeah.
you go through the drive-through, right? You would assume that like the first window is you pay, and then the next one
Why
is you get your food.
is this going to be why do so many of them not use the first window?
Yes. Why
Yeah.
do so
Oh
many
my
of them
God.
not use the first window?
No, oh my God. So I got a very good story about this one.
Because they're farted. That's why.
Wendy's, I feel like has not used the first window since like 2005.
There is one Burger King that not the one that's like the closest to me where I live, but like the closest to where I work, which is like on Millersport.
Mhm.
That one, you go around and it's like this really weird shaped building. It's
I've
not
been
even like
I've
a
been to that
box.
one. I've been to that one. Yeah.
You go around that corner and you can like kind of like see into that window, and it's just stacks of shit.
There's
Like
the one closest to my house is the exact like same, honestly. And honestly, so this was probably maybe a year ago. So I went to a Burger King out in Niagara Falls, like on Military, I think.
that was your first mistake.
No, actually, that is actually a very solid Burger King. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
Um, and even the Mighty Taco next to it is actually also really good. So I went to the said Burger King, and they used at least at this time, used the first window. And I told them I have not this I think I told them this is like the first time I've been to a Burger King so long that you actually used the first window, and the worker looked at me like I had just insulted her mother.
Right. Like,
Because she's like, we always use the first window, and I'm like, literally no other Burger King does.
you are the only one that does.
You're literally the
Uh,
only one I feel like that uses the first window.
Now, McDonald's will close the first
McDonald's
window if
does.
they don't have anybody. They will close the first window if they don't have anybody.
So the time
Which
at
is
least at least honestly, I don't think I've probably maybe only been to McDonald's a handful of times where the first window was closed. Like
but
maybe a handful.
so it doesn't happen that often.
No.
But like
It's usually like if they're renovating the place, so they're only using the second window anyways.
right. But then you get to Wendy's. Wendy's has never used the first window.
Again, like 2000, I remember the Wendy's by my house used to have a sign, like a neon lit sign between the two windows that said something like, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was basically them saying like, "Oh, look how fast we are." Like not in those words, but it basically was something like express service or something like that. I don't remember. I'd have to actually see if it even still has the sign there, just not lit. But that that one, I think sometimes they use the first window now, but not very common. But yeah, no, like actually, I don't even know if they do. Like, I think I even said, like, I think like they haven't used it since like probably like 2005, so maybe even 2004, like 20 years ago. And every other Wendy's is basically the same.
Um, here going off of that, I did you do like um did you do like sports when you were a kid?
With like friends, yeah. Not like organized teams, but with friends, I would play like hockey and football, yeah.
Okay, so I did like organized stuff, like just like rec league or stuff like that. But
Hmm.
like I'm not sure, I'm not sure about you, but have you ever seen like the Timbits jerseys?
The what?
The Timbits jerseys.
Nah.
No,
never
so
seen that.
like these were like the little kid like soccer jerseys, and on the front they would just say like Timbits and then like a number on the back or whatever.
I get it.
But
Yeah.
what you, but I had like a variety of colors of them because I played soccer from like when I was like 5 until like 12.
Mhm.
So I had a variety of them. But you would lift up the bottom of the shirt on the front of the shirt, and it said, "I just played. I'm thirsty." Okay. Here's the funny
Go
part.
get a soda, kids. That's what you do.
No, so like you like in like it was like a sponsorship or whatever. So like you would take that in and be like, I just played, I'm thirsty. So you would get, this is the best part, ready? You're a kid, you're like 5 years old. What do you think with this shirt you were allowed to have?
Like allowed to have, or what they'd actually give you.
What they would actually give you?
I'd assume they would give you, like, if you're a kid, like a water, a milk, a juice, maybe a soda, because
Nope.
like I'm gonna guess coffee then.
They gave you
Yeah,
they gave a 5-year-old coffee.
I don't even. I'm 27. I don't even like coffee. I can't even imagine a 5-year-old.
They gave it is like 90 degrees outside. This kid has been running around for the past 2 hours in a game. They go into a Tim Hortons, and what do you get? A kid-sized cup of coffee.
You know what? When you're really thirsty, everything seems refreshing. Soda, when you are dehydrated as fuck, it may not help you, but when you are drinking it and it goes down your throat, it feels like the most miraculous thing in the world. Especially when it's cold.
So I might be weird on this.
Probably.
Um, I think like bottled soda is bottled soda. Cold is cold.
Yeah.
Fountain, depending on where you go,
Fountain soda
it
hits
is
different.
cold enough.
Fountain soda, I think it's because the machines already kind of make it cold.
Exactly.
Like you really don't
So
need ice, honestly. It's good to get it. It's good to get it because it doesn't really water it down all that fast unless it's just like half the cup is ice, which I fucking hate. But
I do not
honestly, in my
understand.
opinion, fountain soda hits differently to begin with because
Like-
it's different. It's made different.
Like the people who like will sit in a Panera for like 4 hours and do all of their fucking 9 to 5 job at that Panera,
Mhm.
will like go like, why do you need ice? The machine's right there. Besides, if you do that, and this would not that I'm gonna complain about this or anything, but like if the machine is chilling your beverage and you're just sitting there, wouldn't you want more beverage instead of getting replaced by ice?
Exactly.
That's why I wish like with like some like because sometimes I get like DoorDash for myself or whatever. I wish there was an option that just said don't do ice,
There are some restaurants that do that.
but not the ones that I order from.
Well, then don't order from those.
Which is like impossible.
Like you can order from McDonald's, I'm pretty sure, and it will give you the option for no ice. It will say extra ice or no ice.
The thing is though, I have to put ice in that because when I'm ordering it, I don't know that the other person has a second order.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
So, but
Well, then you could
that
just put
makes it,
ice. Then you could just put ice in at your own house.
I get it, I do. But if I'm ordering DoorDash, I'm meant to be lazy.
That is fair enough. That is totally fair. I mean, I get that.
What like I'm just saying like there have been times that like I've gotten like light ice in like drinks, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I have another order," and it's like fucking 12 miles away in the opposite direction.
Honestly though, like the cups those are in, I feel like
Ass.
no, it's not even no, I feel like they keep ice like cold like for a good while. Like it honestly takes a while for some cups to for the ice to really melt. Like in the summer, it might be a little faster, but like honestly, like I don't know what kind of cups you're doing with, but when I get fast food, honestly, ice in the drink, I'll finish the drink before the ice is gone most of the time.
Most of the time I will, like if I'm actually
Granted, I
there,
might have drinking it really fast, but still.
if I'm actually there getting it, yeah, I probably will drink it before the ice is gone. Um, but like here's the weird thing is like if I'm gonna like order it for like DoorDash, I will only order like if I'm gonna get ice in something, I'm gonna only order from places that has bigger cubes.
Mhm.
I will not order Sonic.
I don't really do that anyways, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like their ice is like that shit
They're
ice kind of thing.
yeah, it's like fucking pellets.
It's like a slushy in a way, almost.
Basically, yeah. Like if I
It's
want
like
a
a layer
slushie,
of a
I
slushy.
want if I want a slushie, I'd get a slushie.
Yeah.
But
Like the
like
ice can get through the straw if you're unfortunate enough.
right. And the closest Sonic to me, I'm not sure it's probably the same one as you, but the closest Sonic to me is like 10, 15 minutes.
I think
That shit is
the
half
Sonic
gone
the
by the
Sonic you're
time.
talking about is the one that is the closest to me, but I mean it's further away technically, but it
I
is
mean, for
that's the
you,
closest.
but
Yeah.
like that shit is gone by the time it gets to my door. So like like I'm a big fan of the ocean water, those ones. Um,
The ocean water.
yeah,
You drink salt water?
no,
Okay.
like the Sonic ocean water, you dipshit.
I don't eat Sonic enough. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so basically, it is like fucking Sprite and like blue raspberry.
Okay.
Like, it's that's basically what it is. I will drink that hands down, like at least one or two, sometimes four a week during the summer. Um, I like it that much. But like, I cannot. I have to actually go there and get it because if I order it and then it comes to my door, it's wrong.
Hmm.
So that is like the only concession I'll make to actually go there to get something is if it's Sonic and which even still half the time doesn't have the open fucking first window. Um, but no, that's stupid.
If I'm going to Sonic, I'm going to one of the pull-up menus. I want the full aesthetic.
You want the full aesthetic?
I want the full aesthetic. I want
What's
them
your
skating out to me to give me my food.
or I want them skating out and falling over with my food. I have you ever seen one of those people wipe out?
I haven't seen it in person. I know it has happened. I haven't
It
seen it.
is spectacular.
I am not going to say it's spectacular because I feel that fucking sucks, especially since it's probably a job that
Let
it's probably
me
something they don't like doing to begin with, but it's a job.
let me
So
rephrase that. It is spectacular if it's not your own food.
I don't think it's really funny at all because honestly, that is probably really embarrassing. So
The
I
hot
think
dog goes flying. Like
I I am not going to agree with you at all on this. I don't think that'd be funny at all. I'd honestly feel really bad for the person. I'd feel bad for whoever's food it is. I don't think that'd be funny at all. If I honestly saw that and I saw someone laugh at it, I'd probably punch that person in the face.
I'm wide open, Sean.
Then
Come
perfect. If we
on.
ever go to Sonic together and that happens, and if you start laughing, I will fucking knock your fucking head off.
Deal. All right. And then I'll make fun of you for not laughing at it. All right. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think
No?
so. I'm tired,
All right. Well, Sean, thanks for coming back
of
again,
course.
even though he was the one that requested the episode.
I did request that because I had to get that story out there.
Anyway,
It might go up on my TikTok eventually at some point.
I'll send you the box of it. I'll send you the clip of it.
No, I mean I'll go on my own TikTok and tell her.
No, fair enough. Anyways, Robert will come back at some point. We don't really know where he is, but I'm sure he's probably yelling at a child that didn't wash their hands. So wash your fucking hands, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.